That's weird. That's weird. Kind of weirding me out.
You are a sad, strange little man.
Crazy. This is crazy. This is crazy.
Isn't that weird?
That's weird, man.
It's strange.
What's up, campers? Welcome back to another episode of Camp Strange. I'm your camp counselor, Alex Tobin.
And I'm your other camp counselor, David Stokes.
And we are here to bring back the spooky.
Yep. Here to
spooky.
To spook you out.
So, I think our new theme, not always, but we've become very attached to telling you about these weird news stories that we keep finding in our intros, and they're very fun. David, you have one, right?
Yeah, a lot of weird shit happens, especially in our great city of Los Angeles, which I think this is technically Los Angeles, kind of on the outskirts. But a very common thing these days are these front door cameras.
Oh yeah, like the Rings or whatever.
Yeah, and one of them caught a guy recently who went by the name of Robert Daniel Arroyo, and he was 33, and he was captured licking someone's doorbell for 3 hours straight from several different angles.
Wait, so is it a camera shot of?
There's 3 hours of footage of this guy, black and white footage of him just sitting there, just licking the doorbell.
Wait, so how many doorbells does this person have outside their house?
Just one. He just really went to town on this one doorbell.
The camera's in the doorbell, so is it just like a tongue?
This one's like off to the side of it.
Oh, so maybe they just have one of those, like they have like a doorbell, like a Ring, and then they have like an old school doorbell.
Yeah,
because a lot of the houses they have like that old school doorbell.
Yeah.
So is that like a he just likes because the person touched it? Was he a stalker?
It was a family house. So yeah, I'm assuming drugs, but who knows?
I was gonna say because 3 hours is kind of overkill for anything.
You've gotten it all off at that point.
I can't do anything for 3 hours, really.
Yeah.
So Jesus Christ. Where is this again?
This was in Salinas, California.
Oh, I've heard of Salinas. I don't know where that is, but
maybe they had some really good barbecue going in the back earlier that day, and he smelt it, and he thought maybe he get some of that sweet barbecue on the doorbell.
I was gonna say people haven't eaten the barbecue yet if they're showing up and ringing the doorbell, right?
But I'm saying, maybe they went to the store to get more beer, and they came back with that delicious barbecue chicken on their fingers and touched it.
They have to ring their own doorbell to get inside, or is it okay?
It's the closest you could get to that sweet chicken.
Well, is it illegal? That's my question.
Are
you allowed to lick somebody's doorbell for 3 hours?
I'm sure there's a point where it's like,
minute, really?
There has to be some type of menacing or maybe trespassing in a sense. I don't know.
If somebody doesn't like it, it should be kind of illegal to it's just like if somebody stands on your front lawn and there's I guess it's trespassing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
I would think so, but who knows?
Let alone the licking. So, but I.
Oh wait, there's another sentence right here. They added that it appeared.
I need so much more information on this.
In this article, it says they added that he appeared to relieve himself in the front yard.
Oh, I don't want that information. I take that back. Okay.
Does that mean he's tugging it or just taking a leak?
He's tugging it.
It could be both.
I think. If you're looking at the doorbell, I do not understand the mind state behind that one.
It has to be drugs.
And how did he not wake them up? You're telling me that he licked the doorbell?
He's a soft licker. He's a very gentle, loving licker. Boy.
Oh man. I just love I would love the look on the people's face. And the Ring should actually pick up somebody and give you a notification or something. But I guess if it's in the middle of the night, maybe.
Yeah, I think it's more of a sensor thing.
But I just love the idea of him accidentally pressing the doorbell with his tongue and then them coming out and he's like, yeah,
it was
it was super. The doorbell.
I'm pretty sure it was from. I think it was from 2 a.m. to 5 a.m.
Oh, those are prime sleeping hours.
Prime doorbell licking hours.
He knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, I'll remember not to do that in the future.
Yeah. At least look for a camera if you're going to do it.
Yeah. I'm always really surprised by how many people still steal packages off porches when there's clearly cameras right in front of them. I'm surprised these people just they have nothing over their face. They'll walk up and just take the package. And then, and it's a lot of the time it looks like just normal husbands or wives, and they get in their trucks, and I'm just You're a grown adult. I expected this from like a kid.
Yeah, there's a really good video I saw of this engineer who built this box.
I saw that same video.
Yeah.
The glitter and the skunk spray.
So he built this box that when you opened it, it shot like a pound of glitter like everywhere.
It was the finest glitter he could find too. It was
Yeah.
like really, really hard to like vacuum up and clean up.
And he put a little GPS on it so he knew where it was, and it had 4 cameras on each end of it, so he caught everything. And then after a while, if they didn't get rid of it, there was like a...
Every 30 seconds,
it was like a fart. It was like a fart can, and it would spray fart smell.
Exactly. So if they didn't, in order to get the box back, because it had like 4 iPhones in it for the cameras and stuff, so you could see from every single direction, like wherever they opened the box from, and they every 30 seconds sprayed a fart spray, so they would throw it out of their car or out of their house, so they didn't. That's how they got and it has GPS, so they went and found it. But he did to like a bunch of people, which is hilarious.
Great video.
So you should go find that online. Okay, I also have a quick story for you about an Oklahoma man who got in a fight with his stepfather. And so Bradley Davis was he's 30. This was in 2015. So he was 34 then, and he pleaded guilty on Monday in 2015 for first-degree manslaughter. And it looks like the death happened in 2013. So this was like many years ago.
Wow. Okay.
So it took him 2 years because
going back in time
the death was so interesting. Because Davis said it was like a bad dream because apparently he got in a fight with his stepfather, who was an apparent asshole, and punched him and knocked him out. And he said, how can I make this more humiliating for him?
Oh, God.
So
I'm going to kill him.
He pulled up his underwear to give him an atomic wedgie after the guy was passed out. And he pulled it so far up that he like kind of, I think he broke the waistband.
Okay.
And then he went and he put it over his head, and I guess it went around his neck, and
so like
strangled him to death.
What I'm imagining is that the fabric broke, but the elastic band did not, so the elastic was around his throat from behind.
Yeah, and it was pulling from behind like somebody strangling you, and he took a picture and he laughed about it, and he said, I never had any intention of killing the man. He said, there was no way I ever thought that this could happen. I was panicked, mad, scared. Things got out of hand. They said that they were drinking together at a trailer a few days before Christmas, and this happened, and this is trailer activity, I guess, atomic wedgies over the head. It says his stepfather, he reports that his stepfather was a bully, and he pulled up his underwear in hopes of embarrassing him. In fact, he said he took a photograph of his stepfather showing his underwear over his head. This was in San Antonio, Texas.
Oof.
Oh, it says an Oklahoma man. What?
Maybe
they reported this in San Antonio, Texas. I mean...
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm still... That's close enough, right?
On the spot.
Yeah. So if you're drunk and you knock out your stepdad, just keep his underwear in his pants. You don't have to, because
leave them where they are.
Yeah, you don't have to pull it over his head, because you might go to...
You can just draw shit on his face.
I mean, imagine going to prison and being like, yo, what are you in for? And the guy's like, I'm a triple homicide. It was a bad drug deal gone bad. And so I was like, what are you in for? He's like, punched my stepdad and then strangled him with his own tighty whities. And you're like...
They could either sound like the most badass thing in the world or the dumbest thing in the world.
It does kind of sound like, I don't know what... Don't
you phrase it right, and it sounds kind of badass. Like, not in a good way, but like a type of person that you're like, fuck, I'm going to stay away from them in prison.
His own ass strangled him to death.
That's how you get a reputation.
Which is awful. But...
Yeah.
So, don't give anybody atomic wedgies. I mean, that's kind of a 2013 thing anyway.
I was going to say like 1995, but
that fad died out in 2013.
Update the Wikipedia.
But yeah, he got charged with murder, so he's in prison, which is sad. I mean, it's sad on both ends, but it's just like, you have to admit when something's like so insanely crazy, right?
For sure.
It's like, I feel bad, but it's like, don't do that kind of stuff. Don't punch your stepdad in the first place. Don't knock him out.
Not a good step.
Anyway, yeah, I'm caught up on my weird news, even though it's from a couple years ago. But Jesus Christ. Okay, you want to get into these stories?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, cool. So today I'm going to be telling you about a little land called Scotland.
Okay, a lot of Scots there?
No. A lot of Scottish there.
Yeah, okay.
And so this is a very legendary tale of a man or a clan by the name of Sawney Bean.
Okay.
You ever heard of this, David?
Sounds familiar, but no.
Okay. So in the 16th century, there was a man by the name of Alexander Bean who was born in the council area, which is also like a district of East Lothian, Scotland. Although his name was Alexander, he apparently went by Sawney. And I looked up the origin of the name Sawney, and apparently Sawney is a variant of the nickname Sandy, which is short for Alexander.
Really? Sandy is short for Alexander?
Well, I think it's like Zandy, like Sandy. You know, it could like Alexander, Zandy, Sandy.
Are you making this up, or is this a fact?
No, this is what I read online. It says it's short for Alexander. I mean, different cultures. If you said like William and Bill, exactly. It's like someone's like, really? And you're like, yeah, you know, it just happened. So, So Sandy was a short, and then that turned into Sawney, maybe with like an accent or something.
Okay.
But I also found that Sawney is a British derogatory term for a Scottish person, loosely translating to fool or jock. And I'm not sure if that was adapted after this story or before, but the legend still stands, and Sawney still has that derogatory term. But it peaked in like the 1700s. I went to the website of like when Sawney was popular, and it was like really big spike 1700s, and then no one ever used it after that. So.
Yeah.
So Alexander, or Sawney Bean, grew up in a normal family, and when old enough, went to follow his father's footsteps of ditch digging and hedge trimming. Also, I mean, they said that he was maybe a tanner as well, which is somebody who makes like
pelts.
Belts and pelts and kilts and
leatherwork
felts. But he quickly realized that he had little taste for honest labor, so he didn't like the ditch digging and the hedge trimming and the back-breaking stuff.
Yep.
Although he did not like hard work, he did like women.
Hey.
And what he loved more than women was women who also did not like to work. So, and which is what he found in Agnes Douglas. Not only was Agnes as lazy as Sawney, but apparently she was a witch too.
Oh, okay, cool.
Which made it very hard to bring her home to the parents.
It's a hard living.
I mean, if you're a witch, you kind of have a craft, right? Like, you put in a little bit of work.
Yeah.
Because you
gotta find toad legs.
You're born as a witch, correct?
Butterfly wings. I don't think you're born as a witch.
Eye of Newt. Wing of Bat.
Okay, well, there's like the Harry Potter style witches and warlocks or whatever they call themselves that are like, I guess they're more wizards though, not witches. Are witches wizards? No,
wizards are male witches.
No, I think you're born like that way, but I think witches. I think that witchcraft is something you can learn.
It's a learned trait too. Maybe not as powerful.
Yeah, no. I mean, you gotta have the.
I'm guessing she was probably a learned witch.
Yeah,
because I don't know, but I mean that takes a little bit of work ethic, so that's nice of her.
Yeah, Agnes. She just didn't know what she wanted to do.
So. The newlywed couple decided that it was time for a change of location because, the parents probably hounded them, talking shit, get a job.
Heard that one before.
So they wanted a fresh start, which they found in the coastal area called Banane Head in western Scotland, which was like an outjutting of land into like the ocean area. It was like a greeny grass area that was like in between like two villages basically.
Okay.
In the cave where they did I say that? Oh no, I didn't bring that up yet. I'm sorry. What I meant to bring up was that the problem with not wanting to work though is that you don't have money for a house or any kind of living quarters. So they ended up not taking residence in a house, but in a cave system beneath Banane Head instead, because as we all know, cave rent is very cheap.
And witches love caves.
And they love caves. She was right at home. He was like,
Easy to find bat wings of her potions.
Oh, yeah, true. I don't know if they take... Yeah, I guess you're right. Probably some Eye of Newt down there, too.
Yeah.
So the cave was about 200 yards deep, and the entrance was blocked by the water during high tide, which meant more than enough room and privacy. So it was kind of like, best case scenario.
Yeah.
Apparently you could still go visit the cave today.
I wonder what their postal address was.
Probably
Not a lot of parcels making it to them.
huck it in the ocean. Just it'll probably
It'll
find its
land
way
there.
into the cave.
Yeah.
High tide will bring it right to
Magic.
the doorstep. I mean,
Yeah.
they maybe just look for the doorbell, lick it for 3 hours. We'll come find you.
Yeah,
you know?
that's a good idea.
So now the shelter taken care of, food was the next priority, and like I said, hard to come by with no money or trade to earn any kind of money. So Sawney began to rob travelers on the lonely, narrow roads that connected the towns. Like I said, they were in between towns and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I forget the 2 towns off the top of my head, but I just thought of reading them when people would be like, "Oh yeah, I know where that town is."
Yeah.
So Sawney soon began to see the problems in his plan, though. When he began to become worried that these travelers would tip off the authorities of his wrongdoings, since he was robbing them and then letting them go. So he doubled down and began to murder the travelers to tie up loose ends.
Okay.
So that's always, it's always a good move to just like...
Stitches get thrown in the stew.
Stitches get thrown in the stew.
Yeah,
That's
Snitches get thrown in the stew.
Well, actually, that's exactly where I'm going with this.
Yeah, gotta eat somehow.
Sawney would return to the cave and his wife every night with his collected loot and a dead body. But being a cheap bastard as Sawney was, he decided to triple down, and instead of using his newly stolen money for food, him and Agnes decided to turn to cannibalism, eating the newly murdered victim. I mean, that's just like resourcefulness, I guess.
You gotta get it fresh.
Yeah, and I just mean also just the fact that, if you have, it's good meat.
Great meat.
You could just spend that money on which accoutrement, like a big stick to
And
stir
some trinkets.
a cauldron, a big stick to stir the cauldron.
A new basketball.
Yeah, he loved basketball. He fucking loved
Cave ball?
Cave ball. So, for the next 25 years, the cycle continued, and the Bean family grew in size. The couple produced 8 sons.
Green babies?
They were not green bean babies. They were not broad bean babies. No, they were normal inbred babies. So they produced 8 sons, 6 daughters, and 18 grandsons and 14 granddaughters.
Holy shit. Wait, so I'm not going to do that mental math. What's the grand total on that?
Let me see. 8, 6, 18, 14. 20, 38, 40. Fuck, man. In the
I was
40s.
just wondering if you had that.
No, why you put me on the spot like that, you dickhead?
I don't know. I assumed you had it out there.
No, so, I mean, that's not the point I'm getting at. I think you're missing the big overarching point. There was
No.
about 40 people living in that cave, okay?
Yeah.
Maybe low 50s.
That's wild. I mean, you said. Did you say it was like 600 feet?
200 yards deep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, like, okay, deep, not high.
No,
Okay.
I'm guessing, the cave.
Okay, yeah, you could fit a lot of people in
It
there.
doesn't matter how high a cave is. You're not living. You don't live stacked on top of each other.
Yeah.
So, but like I said, you're missing the main point, which is they're having sex with each other,
Yeah.
which means that all of these grandchildren are incest.
Got 3 eyes.
Yeah.
1 arm.
So they're not looking that great, probably. The Bean clan would lurk the dark roads at night, waiting for passerbys, because now it's a family matter. Now
They need a lot more bodies to eat.
power and numbers, exactly. They would ambush the travelers, robbing, murdering, dismembering, and consuming the bodies. It is said that the Bean family even pickled leftovers in barrels and discarded body parts into the ocean, sometimes washing up on nearby beaches as part of the clan's way of making the people think a wild animal was responsible for the murders.
I mean, that's smart.
It is kind of smart. I mean,
Especially the whole pickling thing. I mean, as awful as it is, like, it's a good idea to get a little stock growing of food.
yeah, you gotta, you can't eat everything on that same night. So
Yeah.
I mean, you have 40 people there, so
True.
I don't know. But if you have 2 bodies and you're like, oh, we'll save one for later. But
Yeah.
which parts are they getting rid of?
I don't know. Bones,
You gotta use
ligaments.
You got to use all the parts.
Yeah.
You can make a nice, as Creed said, or I should say, as Dwight said, your skull will be used as a soup bowl.
Yeah.
So to
There you
Creed,
go.
he said that.
You can make a good weapon out of a femur.
Yeah. That's like Space Odyssey, whatever, or what's that movie? With
The monkeys.
yeah, with the monkeys.
I don't think I've ever actually seen that, but
That was
I
the
remember
first
they had
weapon.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm thinking of Space Oddity. I'm thinking of the David Bowie song.
Oh.
But, so, as I said, blaming them animals, which is not good. Also, for years, the local villagers were unaware of the Bean clan and assumed that the missing people must have just left town or suffered from a natural accident of some sort. So
you've got to notice when 40 people are eating other people, I feel like a lot of people are going to go missing.
They said that in Scotland this was the longest list of missing people that, like, I mean, at the end,
consecutive.
Yeah, well, no, they said that the Bean clan was responsible for the most missing people, like, by the end of it, when they discovered them and stuff like that. They're like, oh, well, they're 25 years, yeah, they probably killed all these people. So,
yeah. But
also there's no way for them to confirm it, because that's the great thing about cannibalism, is there's not a lot of evidence after you eat them and then toss the rest in the ocean.
Yep.
So, but it was kind of fucked up too, because I'll get into it, but as the years continued, more significant notice was taken. And as the years continued, more significant notice was taken of the disappearances, and several organized searches were launched to find the culprits. One search took note of the cave, actually, but the men refused to believe that anything human could live in it. I mean, depending if it was, like, high tide, too, you know?
Yeah.
You're like, there's nothing in there. Why would you even think that people lived in a cave in the first place? But frustrated and in a frantic state, you know, they usually ended up going for the townspeople and lynched several innocent people. But the disappearances continued. I mean, because suspicion apparently often fell on local innkeepers, since they were the last known people to have seen the missing people alive, which is fucked up.
So innkeepers, I'm thinking of like a hotel. Is that just like someone who like stands at the entrance of the town?
No. Innkeepers are no. Innkeepers are like hotels, like you know. So people, they would probably be traveling through the night or something, and then because they only went for travelers or people traveling in between towns. So most of the time it was probably people spending the night in one town, or two towns over, and then coming after them. So that's the worst time to own a hotel. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, that would suck.
Yeah, they probably fucked over a lot of hotels there.
I mean, I feel like at that point, it's like, I've just been here all day. You know? Be like, no, like, just search the premises. Where do you think I'm going to bury these people? You know?
Yeah.
So that sucked. They killed more people than just the people they murdered.
Yeah.
One fateful night, though, the Beans ambushed a married couple riding home from a local fair on a horse. So they had one horse. They were both on the horse. The clan ran down the hillside, tearing the woman from the horse and quickly disemboweling and killing her.
Why wouldn't they just eat the horses?
Because they got a taste for human meat, bitch.
I guess, but damn, there's a lot more meat on a horse, and I'm sure they're a lot tastier.
I mean, why don't we eat horses?
Some people do, I think.
Bad meat. Just bad meat, you know?
It's real tough.
Yeah, you know. But no, you're right. I mean, they probably did in some instances, but it's also...
then it'd be it's probably harder to get a horse to the caves, too.
Yeah, I mean, when they have 40 people, they could probably do it, but at the end of the day, like, they still gotta kill the two people on the horse. You can't just be like, give us your horse.
True. Very true.
Yeah. So they probably added the horse to it, but no one... Horse crime, it's running rampant in Scotland at this point, and no one gives a shit.
Yeah, for sure.
So they disemboweled her, quick gutting of her, you know.
Yeah.
Fucked up.
Well, you don't need to eat that part anyway. Just leave it where you cut it.
Yeah, exactly. So they don't want that part. They can make a nice belt maybe out of the
scarf.
Yeah. The man was able to use the horse even as a weapon. And he ran into some of the Bean clan, knocking them over and stuff, which was, you know, you got a horse at your disposal, use it. And while he was also apparently sporting a sword and pistol while fending off the ravenous cannibals. So that's a pretty cool sight to see. Just like a bunch of... It would be a movie that I would definitely pay to see. A guy like on a horse, pistol, sword... Horses like kicking cannibals and just like going around pow, 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 shooting, slicing, you know, so... Luckily for him, though, it was still 1 to 40 something, so it's like
you're not gonna make it.
Yeah, so luckily for him, a group of 20 or so villagers were also on their way back from that same fair and stumbled upon the altercation, which is when the Bean clan fled back into the darkness. So, I mean, at that point, the numbers aren't in your favor anymore.
The word is out.
You want to dip real quick, and I mean, maybe you got the lady, you know?
Yeah.
That's one. so that's not bad.
Cut your losses.
Yeah, so cut her open and cut your losses.
Yeah.
With the Bean's existence finally revealed, it was not long before King James heard of the atrocities from the survivor and decided to lead a manhunt with a team of 400 men and several bloodhounds. Bloodhounds are your death sentence.
Yep.
That was, I mean, imagine
some good boys.
Yeah, imagine the guy who found out that, like, how useful bloodhounds were to, like, track down people or track.
Yeah.
I mean, they obviously use them for animals first, but still, just like being able.
I wonder if they had names before they realized they were, like, such good, like, hounds at, like, tracing people.
That's a good question, actually.
What their original name was.
Yeah, they probably had a different name or something like that.
Yeah.
But they, just got this because bloodhounds kind of seem like. It kind of seems like a slang term almost, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just kind of stuck. They soon found the bean cave. That sounds. I just keep picturing people looking. I know we talked about beans from Even Stevens, so I'm picturing a whole clan of people that have his face, and they're just cannibalistic monsters that run down a hill.
Because they're inbred? You think they look like him?
I'm just.
Is that where you're going with that?
No, that's fucked up.
We're trying to get him on the show. Beans, hit us up.
No, I just meant because the last name is Beans. I'm not just picturing. Right. Oh, you're fucked up. So, like I said, they soon found the Bean Cave thanks to the Bloodhounds. So, thank you, Bloodhounds. The cave was a scene of many murders and cannibalistic acts where. It was scattered with human remains, with some body parts hanging on the wall, barrels filled with limbs because they got to pickle them.
Oh yeah,
and stolen heirlooms and jewelry, which is kind of weird too because
sell that shit.
Exactly, like why are you just sitting on that? But maybe they had a lot of maybe they went to. They didn't really need what do you need at that point? You're in a cave.
Yeah,
you're eating on the regular.
Stop fucking eating people?
No, I just mean why do you need money at that point?
To buy food and stop fucking eating people?
No, this is a lifestyle choice at this point.
Yeah.
They've already accepted. They're not trying to get out of that
it's just who they are now.
Yeah, so I'm like, I guess they don't need it. Maybe they're just sitting on it until they find a reason. There's we need an Xbox, and then they'll go and pawn a bunch of...
They need 8 Xboxes.
Yeah. And a lot of controllers. Yep. But they probably didn't have fully working thumbs because of the, inbreeding.
The inbreeding.
They didn't even know how to pronounce that word. So, but what happened next? There's 2 versions of what happened next. One was that some claimed that dynamite was placed at the entrance of the cave, and they blew it up.
To seal this up real quick.
Exactly. I mean, that would kind of make sense, but you also don't want them to escape out the back. If there's another, coastal cave, sometimes they'll have it'll wrap around and then come out another side or something like that. So they're they blew up the cave and then they said it collapsed in and they all suffered from suffocation.
Is this the prequel to The Descent?
This is not, but that's a good question. Actually, that was a good movie, very scary movie.
Yeah.
So they said they all suffocated or starved to death, but they probably ran through a couple numbers of people before.
Start eating each other and start making more babies and eating the babies.
Yeah, that's 9 months. Can you stay hungry for 9 months?
And
then that's
kids?
Not a lot of meat too.
Yeah.
This is fucked up. We're talking about eating a baby, but I mean. This is not us talking.
Yeah, we're not eating babies.
Yeah, the Bean Clan. Don't get mad at us, guys, okay? We didn't eat the babies, okay? We're just trying to... We were hired to resource food out in this cave, and we're trying to find... We're doing the best what we have, okay?
Yeah, working with what we got.
So, but the most common idea of what happened next is... I think it's far cooler, but they said that the clan was captured alive... where they gave up without a fight, which is a little disappointing, to say the least. They were taken in chains to the Tolbooth jail in Edinburgh, then transferred to Leith or Glasgow, where they were promptly executed without trial, as they were seen as subhuman and unfit for any kind of trial.
Yep.
Sawney and his fellow men had their genitalia cut off and thrown into the fire.
I was going to say, they cook it up in a stew and make them eat it?
They might like that. They don't want to give them that. So they threw that into the fire. No getting that back.
Yeah.
And then they had their hands and their feet severed and were allowed to bleed to death.
They were allowed to?
They were allowed to.
Oh, that's nice of them.
Yeah. I mean, at that point, you weren't... there's nothing really else going on. You could maybe roll into the fire and go eat your penis, but
yeah, a cooked penis.
Yeah. I was like, I want to die with my boys, and then
he's like, okay, time to take it off. You're burning it. You're burning it. Take it off.
It's overcooked. I just seem like a guy with like no hands and no feet is like rolling in the fire. He's like, I'm coming for you, boys, and he's like rolls over into the fire, and they're like, okay, let that guy go. He deserved that. But like I said, throw it into the fire, and the others were allowed to bleed to death. Sawney's shouting his dying words, "It isn't over. It will never be over." I mean, it was over.
Some good last words.
Yeah, it was good. They don't
real
ring,
haunting.
They don't ring true, but I get it. Maybe just talking about cannibalism as an idea.
Okay. Or just the bean folk. Maybe one of the bean children escaped. Maybe we're a bean person.
He or she is gonna have a hard time finding a mate to make more bean clan. But
what if they just had one trained?
He's like, hey, you looking for a date? And you're like, what's wrong with you? Like, I have a nice cave. If you want to come back, you like pickled human feet? You're like, oh, I do not want to go on a date with you. I'm sorry. So yeah, it's hard to find a suitor, even if you did escape. But like I said, that was for all the men. They had their wieners cut off, hands and feet bled out, except for a couple that rolled into the fire.
Yeah.
But after watching the men die, Agnes and her fellow, children and grandchildren were burned alive on the stake.
Okay. She was a witch.
She was a witch. You make a very good point. Yeah. I mean, she probably didn't mention that. I mean, that was probably not the top accomplishment as of right now on the top of her list. They're not like, we're killing you because of witch. Like, no, you pickled a bunch
Maybe.
You pickled a bunch of wieners and ate them.
Yeah.
So, and they were burned at the stake. Let's see what else happened. I mean, at this point, they're all dead, right?
Yeah.
This recalls, in essence, if not in detail, what does that mean? I don't know.
This wrote it.
I know. This recalls, in essence, if not in detail, the punishment of hanging, drawing, and quartering decreed for men convicted of treason, while women convicted of the same were burned. So they're just saying that, like, this was like normal practices. Like, women usually weren't, like hang, draw, and quartered. They were just kind of burned, and then the men had like more of a suffering, humiliating type thing. I feel like.
Yeah.
The story of Sawney Bean itself seems to have only been historically recorded in the Newgate Calendar, which is a crime catalog of Newgate Prison in London. And actually, many believe that the English actually fabricated the cannibalistic story to try and degrade and diminish the humanity of the Scottish people.
Okay.
But some say if you visit the cave that remains to this day, in Benane Head, Scotland, that you can still hear the faint sound of Sawney Bean sharpening his knives deep within the blackness of the cave.
Ooh, oh, so wait, I thought they blew up the cave.
No, remember there's two stories.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay.
I mean, I guess the thing is the cave still exists, so they didn't blow up the cave.
Okay.
I mean, but I think people are like, this is the cave of Sawney Bean, and there's
probably 4 of those up the coast that you can take tours of.
Exactly. I don't think there's any proof.
Yeah.
Like I said, it was only reported in this Newgate Calendar for Newgate Prison in London. But I think there's like, oh, this is Benane Head's cave, and it's kind of like one guy goes, this is the Sawney Bean cave, and then he tells everybody, and everybody goes, oh, well, this is the Sawney Bean cave. So
yeah.
But it could have been another cave that blew up. So, I mean, some people know this, but Wes Craven actually, famous for Nightmare on Elm Street, and Scream,
tons of stuff,
was inspired by the story to write and direct the movie The Hills Have Eyes.
Oh, okay.
About a radioactive mutant inbred family that lived in the hills and feasted on the flesh of lost travelers, which is a great movie. That was like one of my favorite movies, like growing up, because I always liked these weird horror movies and stuff, and that movie terrified me. And
I remember they made a sequel, maybe a couple sequels.
Well, the original one was made back in the 70s or 80s.
Yeah.
And it's actually funny because the main inbred guy in that movie who's like on the cover, He's also been in some Rob Zombie films and stuff like that.
Okay.
He actually lived in Sonoma County, apparently, and my dad met him, and he's like, oh, he's like a really nice guy. Like, he's kind of deformed looking and stuff, and he's kind of scary looking. He's like a big, tall guy.
Oh.
You ever seen that guy?
I think I know who you're talking about. He stands kind of like this.
Yeah, he has like a lumpy head, kind of, and apparently he's just like a super nice guy. Like,
I think he passed away a few years ago.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Oh, man. He was like well-spoken.
He was the really like sweet family member in
The Devil's Rejects or whatever.
The one before that. Shit, what's that movie called?
Is that the one where like he's like
it's The House and
House
Rainn
of a Thousand
Wilson's in
Corpses.
it.
House
Yeah.
of a Thousand Corpses.
Yeah.
He's in that?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's like the younger brother that doesn't say a word, but he like tries to help the girl escape.
Oh, yeah, he might be. I mean, but he was definitely in one of the remakes that they made, and he was like helping capture chickens or something like that.
Okay.
And he's just like, ooh, and they're you know, they always kind of, it's fucked up. They always kind of make him like a mentally slow, like inbred guy. But I have seen him in like other B or C movies where he just
romantic comedies.
Not those, where he kind of plays like a gas station guy. Like, don't go up that hill. Where it's like, oh yeah, he's still in like a horror movie, but he's not like the monster. He's like the creepy gas station guy, but he's still like a good guy. He's not like, he's warning them. So
yeah,
that's cool that he got some of those roles. And
yeah, that's good.
Not all cannibalistic roles. It's really hard to be typecast as a cannibal in Hollywood. You can't really break out of that one.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
You know how it is.
Yep. Yeah.
Ready? It seems like you're just saying yeah a lot.
No. Yeah. You want me to go?
Well, I'm done.
Okay.
That's all I have.
All right. Well, I'll get into mine. The year was 1900.
I like how you seem so disinterested at first. You're like, yep, and then all of a sudden I'm like, your turn. He's like, welcome to the David Mystery Hour. Like, okay, so he's really into this. Okay.
Yeah. So it was 1900. And,
okay, now you're disinterested again.
Yeah,
that's cool. Yeah.
It was the 26th of December, and a boat was heading out to Flannan Island in the Outer Hebrides.
Where are we talking right now?
So the island is off of Scotland.
Oh, so we got another Scottish tale right here.
Yeah, I can't do that accent. I'm not going to try.
You can't do the accent.
No, I can't.
Boy, oh.
I don't want to embarrass myself trying.
Oh, you're just another Sawney Bean.
Exactly.
I know it was you. Smelled the wiener on your breath when you walked in.
So the island was very remote, aside from a lighthouse.
Pickled dick in your mouth.
Yes, pickled dick.
Oh, yeah. Can we cut that out?
Nope, okay. I'm leaving that in.
Cool.
So the island was very remote aside from the lighthouse and the keepers that lived in the lighthouse. Besides that, it was completely uninhabited.
Okay.
And the island was named after Saint Flannan, a 6th century Irish bishop who would eventually become a saint.
Okay.
And Bishop Flannan built a chapel on the island. And for centuries, many shepherds would go to the island because it wasn't very far.
Shepherds are guys who herd sheep, correct?
Yes, they would go and they would take their sheep there for a good old afternoon graze because since no one lived there, it's like, hey, take the sheep over there. It's as much as they can eat. Like, no one's going to be bothered by it. It's only keeping under control.
No wolves, just green pastures. But they had to put a bunch of sheep on a boat?
Yeah.
Okay. I guess so. That's doable.
Yeah, and so, but the catch is that they would only do day trips and never stay the night.
Okay.
Why would they do that, you might ask?
Because it's haunted.
Yeah, because the shepherds were fearful of the spirits who were believed to haunt the remote island.
Ooh.
So let's get back to this arriving boat.
Can I ask how many lighthouse attendants were there?
3.
There's 3 at a time.
Yes.
Okay.
So it didn't. From what I read, it didn't really make it like an apparent thing. But I'm pretty sure there were 2 guys that were there all the time, and then the third would cycle in and out, and they would switch people.
Okay, like you get 2 days off type thing. So he just basically covered the days off for like the other guys.
You know, I don't. Again, it didn't go into detail on it, but it made it seem like there were 2 guys there that were permanent, and then 1 person who would cycle in every now and then.
Okay.
So that's actually who's arriving. So let's get back to the boat.
Mm-hmm.
The boat had aboard Captain James Harvey and Joseph Moore, who was a new replacement for one of the lighthouse keepers.
Okay.
Almost immediately, the 2 noticed something was strange. When no one was there to await their arrival, because, like, you know, they always they're at a lighthouse, they see where boats are coming, and
So
usually like there's people down there. Exactly.
Hey.
So the captain blew his horn and sent a warning flare in an attempt to get the lighthouse's attention.
Okay.
But no one responded.
Was there a light? Was there like a light going still?
Didn't say.
Okay.
So the two got into one of the little side boats and rowed their way to the lighthouse. The captain reported he had an overwhelming sense of foreboding and fear on his ascension up to the lighthouse.
I mean, it's kind of, yeah, I mean, I feel like you would get that immediately when somebody's just not like, oh, it's protocol to come out to the lighthouse. And it's like, they're not out the lighthouse. They're either doing something in the lighthouse.
Wrestling in the fields.
Yeah. It's our workout, so how about you stop judging us, okay?
As soon as the captain approached the door, his fears were confirmed, and the door was unlocked, which I feel like that's strange, because it's like you're on a remote island. Why would you lock the door? Yeah, but apparently that was something that was unusual to him.
Yeah, maybe because like the lighthouse is supposed to be like a very valuable, like prestigious thing, so it's like you keep it locked, so just in case.
Yeah.
You know.
So...
Pirates.
Not only was the door unlocked, but 2 out of the 3 oilskin coats were missing.
Oh, damn. We talked about oilskin coats last time.
Yeah.
Okay.
But 2 out of the 3 were missing.
Okay, so 2 out of 3. Okay, and that's Gordon Fisherman, yellow get up.
Yeah.
So, okay.
So the coats weren't the only strange thing about the lighthouse. As Captain Harvey and Moore continued to search the lighthouse, they found a half-eaten meal and an overturned chair, making the two think that wherever they went, they went in a hurry.
Okay.
Yeah. Another odd thing that they noticed was that the kitchen clock was stopped.
Oh, okay.
I feel like that's one of the weirder aspects of the story that they didn't really touch up on, but it's like, why would it be stopped? You know, like, what would do that? Why would someone like stop the clock? Why would anybody stop a clock in the first place? Like the ticking was driving them insane,
or the clock has been broken.
Yeah, that's a possibility.
I mean, but yeah, like it definitely adds a supernatural essence to it. Like,
exactly.
Why did the clock stop? What the fuck's going on?
So, without finding where the men were, the captain sent a telegram to the mainland, which read, "A dreadful accident has happened at the Flannans. The 3 keepers, Ducat, Marshall, and the other occasional..." See, that's why I'm thinking, like, he refers to this guy as the occasional. So I think it's, like, people that come in and out. Have disappeared from the island.
Oh, so 3 of them were there at the time. Okay,
yeah.
I thought there was 2 there.
No.
And then that guy was showing up to be like, hey, I'm the 3rd guy.
Yeah, so I think he was taking more out there to switch with the other occasional.
Okay, that makes sense. So there's 2 jackets gone with 3 people gone.
Exactly.
Okay.
So that and it's at the end of December.
So it's cold as shit.
Yeah. So back to the quote. "On our arrival this afternoon, there was no sign of life on the island. Fired a rocket," which is funny, but no response was made. "Managed to land more who went up to the station but found no keepers there. The clocks were stopped and other signs indicated that there was an accident. Must have happened about a week ago. Poor fellows, they must have been blown over the cliffs or drowned trying to secure a crane or something like that. Night coming in, we could not wait to make something as to their fate. I have left Moore, MacDonald, buoymaster, and 2 seamen on the island to keep the light burning until you make other arrangements. Will not return to Oban until I hear from you. I have repeated this wire to Moorhead in case you are not at home. I will remain at the telegraph office tonight until it closes if you wish to wire me." Sometimes it's fucking hard to read like the weird cadence of old writing like that.
Yeah, I was going to say sometimes they start a sentence where fired a I mean, that's not an improper sentence, but
fired a rocket.
You'd be like, we fired a rocket, so it's fired a, I don't know, just kind of weird to be like, what the fuck did I just read? You know.
Yeah.
So so it sounds like they're just these guys are gone. Mm-hmm. They probably drowned. We're not going to do too exhaustive of the search because it's the ocean. We know how the ocean works.
Yeah.
It just probably pulled them back out, and now they're all dead, which is crazy. But they have to keep that lighthouse running, so they just dropped off some more people there.
Yep.
And they're like, keep it going.
Yeah.
Okay.
So 3 days later, a man named Robert Moorhead, who was he recruited the 3 guys, so he knew them very well, departed for the island to investigate the situation for himself. Moorhead found the same stuff that the other 2 did, but he also found one thing they missed: the lighthouse log. Moorhead noticed that the last few log entries were very bizarre. On the 12th of December, the second assistant, Thomas Marshall, wrote, "Severe winds, the likes of which I have never seen before in 20 years." And also added in a note that James Ducat, who cares?
Duke.
Who was the principal keeper of the lighthouse, had been very quiet, and the third assistant, named William MacArthur, had been crying.
He wrote that in the log?
Yeah.
That's kind of fucked up.
Yeah, I snitched him out. But in the reports, the reason why it's strange that he was crying, because everybody that knew MacArthur described him as a tough as nails, seasoned mariner who had a reputation for being like a brawler in town. Like, you'd get in fights and stuff.
Oh, and so now he's really trying to shit on his name. But no, that is weird.
Yeah. I mean, men cry. It happens. I can't watch This Is Us. We talked about this earlier.
Yeah, I can't watch that show either.
But, back in the day, it's 1900, like...
Yeah, what's causing him to cry?
Yeah, and the other guy's just, like, dead quiet for some reason.
That's super weird.
So what type of storm could make a big old manly man like that weep? The next log entry for the 13th said the storm was still raging on, and all 3 men had been praying for their lives, which doesn't make any sense, because all 3 men were experienced lighthouse keepers and, like, mariners and stuff, and they were safely situated on a brand new lighthouse that was... like, had them 150 feet above sea level, like, safe, like, nothing...
Even if waves are hitting it, you're still within a lighthouse, not like you're on a boat that might capsize, so, like, why are you guys so scared? Which makes you think...
I've seen, like, tsunamis hit lighthouses and it's still standing afterwards.
Yeah, so you just think that there's something else in play right now.
Yeah. Another factor that makes the storm very interesting is that there are absolutely no reports of a storm in that area on those days.
Oh, shit.
So, I believe the lighthouse was close enough to the like the mainland that like people could see the lighthouse from the shore. And so like people are like, we can see the lighthouse those days. Like there's not a storm there. Like they would be able to see a storm.
That makes it a little less like, yeah, you shouldn't be as scared right now, because like it's not like you couldn't shoot a flare and get help. It's not like you're miles and miles off the coast where,
Yeah, and they said that a storm did show up on the 17th, but all these logs were like days before.
So like paranormal winds.
Possibly.
Are those a thing?
They are now, bitch. The final log entry...
Got stuck in a ghost hurricane, I tell you. John's been crying ever since.
The final log entry from the lighthouse was dated December 15th, and all it said was, "Storm ended, sea calm, God is over all."
Okay, so
the fuck does that mean?
They seemed hopeful. God is over all. Like, God stopped this storm?
Like, it has power over all? Like, who knows? No one knows. Like, that's not like a saying. I Googled it, and there's Bible verses that like kind of have those same words in them, but not in that order and not just that sentence.
Mm-hmm. God is over all. I mean, it does seem like they're like praising God for like their shitty time there, but I don't know. It's still kind of like ominous and like, where'd they go? What happened? Like the storm's over. Yeah. They wrote that last log entry in there.
Yeah, so they survived the storm.
If you thought that, if you thought they died in the storm, then they wouldn't have a log entry in there at all.
Exactly.
So, like, what the fuck?
So, shifting focus, Moorhead turned his attention to the coats. Why would only 2 out of 3 men leave the lighthouse with coats? It's December. It's freezing. There's, like, no way you leave the place without a coat.
Yeah.
So, another note is, why would all 3 men leave at the same time? It's not just an unusual thing for that to happen, but it's actually strictly against the rules and regulations of lighthouse keeping. Like, you always have to have one person there to be like in the tower watching for boats. Like you can't abandon a lighthouse. That's like one of the biggest rules.
Unless like one person went out there, did something really quick, like got in trouble somehow. Another guy ran out there, tried to help him. He got in trouble, and the last guy ran out there. But like still, the storm's not going on at this point.
Yeah.
So what's in trouble? What's making them freak out like this?
Yeah. So, leaving the lighthouse, Moorhead checked the surrounding area and found some strange stuff at the landing platform. He noticed ropes strewn all over the rocks, and the ropes were usually there to hold in supply crates.
Okay.
It was possible that the storm dislodged the crate, and the keepers were attempting to retrieve the supplies when an unexpected wave snuck up on them and swept them all to sea.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
But that's also just like a very unlikely excuse, because these guys are so like well informed of the ocean. Like no one bought it. Like no one's like, they're like, there's no way all three of these guys could get taken out by like a wave. Like they're
too experienced.
Yeah.
They know what they're doing. They know what not to do.
And there's no reason all three would be standing in one spot for a wave to hit them.
Yeah.
If the men were washed to sea, then their bodies would have washed ashore. That's another thing they say.
Because they didn't get past the tide. Like, it was still pushing them against the rocks and stuff like that.
And why would one man not grab a coat? It was not believable, like I was saying, that 3 experienced lighthouse keepers would be unaware of a wave. And again, the weather reported by man was that the water was calm. Like, everybody on shore, they said that there was no storm. So there's no reason for them to like leave or even get washed out. Like,
yeah, you would there's something else going on here that nobody knows about.
Yeah. So after the years, the mysterious disappearance has many theories, which is, well, aliens.
Oh, okay.
People think maybe they were abducted by aliens.
I didn't even think about that.
I think a more realistic one would be invading foreigners, which is a term that they used on the thing I was reading. That's like basically like someone coming from another land and just like taking a supplies and then like taking them.
Yeah, I was about to say it could definitely be like because you said you can see this lighthouse off the coast. Like, it's pretty easy for you to land on the opposite side of the island, sneak up on them. Why isn't the door locked? That kind of thing, you know. So they probably busted in, grabbed the supply crates, you know.
So over the years after the mysterious disappearance, many of the following lighthouse keepers that now stay on the island have reported strange voices in the winds, which call out the names of the 3 presumed dead men.
Ooh.
So was it cabin fever? Was it haunting spirits, aliens, just a misadventure leading to the men's death? Who knows? What do you think?
Do you mean cabin fever by like one of them killed the other 2?
Yeah, like went nuts and maybe killed them.
It could be. I mean, that's the thing about these situations. They're so open ended, you know. Yeah. I mean, I think your first inclination is to say it's the water, it's the weather, but then when there's reports of these guys saying, "Hey, the weather has passed, we're all good now," now there's so many more questions. That's
the like the biggest part, like the biggest thorn in that one is that it's like they said, yeah, the storm has passed, so you can't really call it the storm on that one because they wrote it themselves. It's gone.
What do you think is the most likely? You said foreigners.
Yeah, like, I think them getting abducted, like just taken, maybe, but. Nothing makes sense.
I mean, you say foreigners, but I mean it's just still like pirates. Yeah, pirates are foreigners, right? So like anybody who just like is not a part of the Scottish civilization, I guess, could just like get up on land, take all the stuff, take the 3 guys too. You know, you want to join our crew? We either kill you or you join our crew. We'll join your crew. That kind of thing. So,
what I really wanted to know the answer to was if they could tell whose jacket was left behind.
Oh.
That's something that I didn't see anything about that I was really curious about, which, I mean, it wouldn't answer anything, but it'd make it a little more interesting to know, like, who left without their jacket.
Well, you know what's really interesting is the fact that, like you said, one person always has to stay in the lighthouse. Yeah. So I'm guessing 2 of them went out with coats. Yeah. One of them maybe got dragged out. Yeah. Or something happened to the 2 men where he ran. I feel like even if, like, something was going wrong with, you know, like these 2 men, like whether they fell in or something, he would still throw on a coat like while he was running out, like just snag it off. Yeah, but it wouldn't be hard to just grab it. But yeah, so those 2 men were out there, and then something happened to them, whether it was being attacked by people, the elements, aliens, creatures, ghosts, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. And then the last guy either got dragged
jumped from his food, knocked over his chair, ran out without his coat.
Exactly. So, I mean, still very weird. You think their bodies would be there if they died there on the island or in the water. So, damn. I don't know.
Maybe one guy killed the other one, and the other guy was eating his meal and saw that and just, like, jumped out of his chair and ran without his coat.
Shit.
And that guy chased him
down.
down.
And then one guy just dipped out. One guy just, like, took a look. I mean, they have lifeboats out there, too, correct?
I would think so.
They have a boat.
They'd have to.
I mean, all the boats are probably still there, but, geez, I mean, there's a reason why that story is still told today is because...
No answer.
Yeah, you're not going to go, oh, it was definitely this.
It was this,
It wouldn't be what it is, so...
Yeah.
Damn, that's really crazy and pretty creepy, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean,
I want to know what he was eating.
Scott haggis.
What you eating?
Haggis.
What is haggis?
Yeah, Scottish people eat it.
What is it?
I think it's sausage.
I was imagining like an oatmeal kind of thing.
Is it? Google it. What is that? I think it's like.
Is it cheese?
No, haggis is like some kind of like I want to say like a sausage or like an intestine or
trying to say
stomach.
Haagen-Dazs?
No, is it stomach? Haggis. Is it like
Scottish dish containing sheep or calves oral mixed? Wait, what the fuck? Oh, that's it. No, what? It's an oatmeal. I was right. It's like an oatmeal kind of thing with sheep in it.
Bullshit. What?
Yeah.
Are you serious? No way.
Yeah.
If anybody's out there had haggis, you're probably just like
Boiled in a bag.
hitting your head against the wall right now. Are you
Traditionally
serious?
made from the animal's stomach.
Oh, okay, there we go. No, I'm not totally crazy. Right? Oh, boiled in a bag. Did they boil haggis? Savory pudding containing sheep's pluck, minced with onions, oatmeal, suet, spices, and salt mixed with stock and cooked while traditionally encased in an animal's stomach, though often is artificial case instead. Okay, so pretty gross still.
It kind of looks like a
like
sausage.
pudding.
It looks like a sausage that was put into a baked potato.
Yeah, so he's cooking in his stomach, but yeah, I mean we're getting off, but it is a Scottish episode at this point.
Yeah,
like, we didn't know we were both going to do Scottish tales.
Sometimes it just works out like that.
Oh my god, you could buy haggis in a can on Amazon for $14.
Ooh, that's a little steep.
Fuck that. I mean, it might be good haggis though because
Could be great haggis.
It's $13.50. So
who are you to judge?
I guess I don't know, but damn,
they sell full chickens in a can. You're gonna judge?
Oh my god, I've seen those. They're like congealed and let's not get into that. That's another horror story for later. But Scottish, the land of Scotland. Thank you for
thanks for the stories, guys.
Your interesting past.
We appreciate
probably
that.
a lot more going on there that we don't know about, but we'll probably soon find out as a
whole new world
as the episodes go on. So thank you for that, Scotland. Shout out Scotland.
Shout out Scotties.
I messed up because last episode I said we had some listeners in Cheshire, England, and it's not. It's Cheshire. Oh my god!
So now we have to get someone in Cheshire.
It's not. It's like Cheshire. Oh my god! I'm sorry if you're from
like the cat from Alice in Wonderland.
It's like no. Yeah. One that is called the Cheshire Cat, but like Cheshire, I think, is the name of the English town that we have some listeners at, which is cool. Shout out England. That's really cool that we actually have some listeners overseas.
Yeah, we've been talking about doing like a tour overseas. Maybe we'll see you guys.
No, I ain't got overseas money. Oh, Chichester. Okay,
Chichester?
I'm sorry. Chichester or Chichester. Thank you, Chichester, England. You know, that's cool. Yeah. Also, shouts out Fayetteville, North Carolina, Huntley,
really?
Montana. We got Ogden,
We got
Utah.
Helena in there, you said?
Huntley, Montana.
Huh. You said we have Ogden?
Ogden, Utah.
Oh.
So
that's where Weber State is.
What's that?
College.
Oh, cool. Yeah, and then the rest are just like we got some listeners in our hometowns and stuff like that. But thank you, Boise, Idaho. Shout out, what up? And yeah, so thank you guys for listening in all those towns. We really do appreciate you guys. Hopefully, we'll have many more towns to shout out later. But keep it up. We love it. We love you guys for listening.
We love
hanging
all of
around.
you.
And if we ever get to meet you, we'll sit down and have a nice haggis together.
Yeah.
I gotta try haggis.
Now we gotta eat haggis.
If I go to Scotland, I'm having haggis. I have to have haggis.
Gotta have my haggis.
Gotta have my haggis. Gotta have my... Okay, cool. Well, I think that's it. My dance is over, and so is this podcast. So go to campstrange.com for any of the hyperlinks. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, what up, all those. Send us stories for more of the Tales from the Camp episode, your personal weird stories or funny or strange, creepy, whatever. Anything that you got that you think would fit this podcast, send it on over to us. We got merch. on our store. We have some soft shirts. David, you're wearing one of the soft shirts right now.
I am. It's so comfortable.
He's wearing the campfire one with all the little monsters around the campfire.
The demons.
It's a gray one. It's nice. I like that shirt a lot. I mean, I like the other one.
It turned
a lot
out
too,
really good.
Yeah, it's great. And I think that's it. Do you have anything to say, David?
No. See you next week, guys.
Yeah, see you guys next week. We'll have more stories for you, and we can't wait to tell them. So keep it spooky, keep it weird, and don't forget to stay strange.